Somebody with a little bit of a spin out there. Alrighty, welcome back everybody here to SimTraX Broadcasting. This is Patrick Morrison coming to you live here with the National Racing League out here. We are looking at number 71. I'm a little off foot here, or kind of offset here, looking at Terry Litweiler out here at the Nashville Super Speedway. This track is slipping these guys up just a hair out here. We're trying to chime in just a little bit, see what we can do to keep that rear end of the car down there on the track. They're able to get tons of speed out there in these Gen 4 cars, but they are having a hard time with traction, which is really unusual here. Normally, you're able to stay pretty stuck to the track out there, and everybody seems to have no problems out there. I believe we also have the drivers like Doug Macedo out here, who's out there trying to give it his best out there in the 73 Chevrolet, and Jared McGoon right now, I believe, is the one holding the fastest time here during the warm-up, from what I am seeing. And he is going ahead and wrapping around here. But let's go ahead and take a look at a race info here tonight of what the Federated Autosport 400 is going to consist of here tonight. Looks like we have 170 laps lined up for these guys here tonight, and trust me, I think it's going to be a long one here. With a 100% fuel limit, they'll be knocked down to 4 sets of tires down there in the pit. Obviously, no fast repairs, and the reason they're having traction problems, we're looking at an open setup league, so these guys are going to be perfectly happy out there with their setup, seeing that they will be able to make any sort of adjustment that they want out there. A couple of drivers have realized they're having some trouble out there with Panhard bar, trying to get that thing at the right height level. That way this thing stops slipping around. Looks like Barney is calling all quits here to the warm-up that these guys are getting ready for out here, and we'll be getting underway here in just a moment for our starting grid. Would like to thank Fubar Studios out there for sponsoring the league out here tonight. We've been off here for a couple of weeks for NSR, everybody trying to square away and pull in a few more drivers. You'll see drivers like Lilith Peters out there. They're going to be having a good time out there tonight, seeing that we had the fastest time out there on the track, and I guarantee you she's going to be feeling pretty good with that number 1 spot. So as I say that, why don't we go ahead and take a look at our starting grid. Not too many drivers here tonight, which is a-okay. I'm hoping that we will have more drivers here in the near future, but let's go ahead and take a look. Right now, as I said earlier, Lilith Peters will be starting in that number 1 spot, only 24 thousandths of a second off as Jared McGoon. Shows you what one guy can do when they help set up that car. Great job there by Devin Lockridge to place his drivers in the number 1 and 2 positions. Moving on, Justin Koch, who will be starting 3rd next to Eric Johnson, who is 4th. Moving on to row number 3, looks like Daniel Olis will be starting in 5th. And Glatfelter will be starting in 6th. New driver I haven't seen in number 44. Hopefully he has a good run here tonight. So we are looking also at Drew out there. We'll see how he does in the number 7. Next to Eric Howard in 8th. Right now moving on to the number 8 car, where Mark Sikosi sits in 9th next to Brian Wiggins. Well, that seems to be a little unusual by those two drivers. Right now I've seen Sikosi actually a little faster at a track like this, but he is looking a little slow, but at least top 10 start. Moving on, Jason Crumley, who's in 11th. Anthony Mathis starts in 12th. Moving on to the last row of our drivers here, that's going to be Terry Litweiler and Doug Macedo here in the back. Right now I don't know if there's a little trouble out there out of Anthony Mathis. Right now it's showing him with a little bit of a tumble up here, trying to get on track and at the correct time. Appreciate you guys joining us here at SimTraX Broadcasting. We're flying solo here tonight with the NSR series. Pace car is heading on off. Let's go ahead and get this one underway. Right now, Lilith Peters is going to be our starting spot. Right now, waiting for Barney, and green flag. Here we go. hop on board here with Eric Howard. Currently he is out there running in the 6th position. He's already gained a couple of positions. I'd like giving you guys that first lap there for a moment. Whoa, these cars sound out there on the track. This is definitely an exciting race we're going to be seeing here tonight. The 97 car, Daniel Lolis, unfortunately looks like he's on the roll backwards. Lost one. He's almost losing a second. And he does. Rough turn there for Lolis. Not only does he lose one, he loses two. And Lolis now down to 10th. I don't know if something's wrong with that car, if he's waiting for it to come around. Certainly he is running a higher line than everybody else. Some guys do say running that higher line is trouble, as this seems almost to be a one-lane track. I mean, having a hard time here. So, Federated Auto Parts 400 giving Daniel Lolis kind of a kick in the butt here as he rolls backwards. 10th spot. He still hangs on. Wiggins is now going to be looking to see if he can take him on. Lilith Peters and Jared Magoon still remain 1 and 2. Looks like we got a driver sideways. Eric Howard is around. First caution here of the night. Lap number 4. Boy, rough start here. Looking to see if how heavy the damage is to that car. As I get the drone footage out there. Right now out there, getting a quick checkup here, seeing if we can get something adjusted. All right, Lockers, let me know how the sound's doing out there now, buddy. I know Nashville, once we get to these smaller tracks, we get the cameras do get a little bit closer to the cars out there. We'll try to get these things cranked down just a hair. See if we can try not to get a muffler out there on these cameras. All right, Eric Howard, let's see what happens to him. This unfortunately put him all the way in the back. I'm sure he'll be heading down pit road, hopefully to get that pulled out. Let's see if we can take a look. Was he assisted here, or is this just a self-loop? Oh, assistance. Yeah, I believe that was Drew out there. He got kind of banged up as well. Alright, we'll see if we can get you guys also a more professional name here for Mr. Drew. Yeah, I believe it's Drew Kuhn is what I'm looking for. Yeah, that should be his last name. Alright. Better. Right now, currently, Drew is sitting down there in pit road. From Bowling Green, Kentucky. Looks like the number 29. Let's see if he can get back out there. No, I think everybody's a little nervous, wonder if this is going to be how the race is going to end up rolling here tonight. Seeing how long pace laps are going. Unfortunately, pace laps sitting about a minute apiece here. They're kind of chopping away, 170 laps. Going to be a long one, I would say. I figured we would have been somewhere around the 90s to 110. They are looking to extend this. Pace car not, though. Lights are out. Leather Peters will be coming back to the green flag, waiting on Barney out there. As we hop inside Leather Peters' machine. He's led every lap here so far. Unfortunately, that's only 7. We'll be getting back underway. All right, Lockridge says that is a lot better. All right, yeah, we should have knocked it down. I'm not quite sure what cranked it up there. May have been running in a little trouble since the last race we ran. All right. NSR Series is looking for drivers. To me, I think 14 drivers is too little. Definitely need to get about another 10 out here, and I think we'd really have a ball. So you You guys know how to get a hold of the NSR series. You can find them on Facebook, Discord, or out there on iRacing themselves. Guys, come out here and give it a go. I think all these guys are getting ready. They have multiple series out there. The ARCA series they are running. I believe even the limited late models. And we are going for it. So here we go. Back under green. Lilith Peters back to the lead. Jared Magoon sitting in that number 2 spot. I think he's going to be following along here. Not really pressing on Lilith Peters here. I believe Lilith Peters actually gave a little bit of tutelage out there to Jared Magoon, I think back there at Dover. So Glatfelter already moving up front here to the number 3 spot. He's shifted outside the top 5 and now in it deep. Currently our biggest mover of the race. Does go to Terry Litweiler. I believe he's back here racing with Jason Crumley. Crumley I saw blink out there for just a moment as we're hoping Crumley can stay connected. Right now let's shift up here to Justin Cope, who's being currently passed by Mark Sakosi. Sakosi now flying up to the 4th spot. That's 5 on the night. Got a really fast car here early into the race. Pop more of an overhead view. You are seeing how Justin Cope is losing some ground there to Sakosi, but Eric Johnson out there in the 18 is looking to pass him here. Right now, Eric Johnson setting up for a run. I believe it says Anthony Mathis is having some trouble out there. I don't know. Whoops. Yep, down into the infield, into the wall. That's the second caution here of the night. Says he went off track, looking to see how much damage he is now accrued. The left front's looking pretty nasty. And Anthony Mathis apparently is not getting the clue here that we race. We don't do things like that here. All right, let's see what gets Anthony Mathis around here. Maybe that's what was going on as he's getting frustrated. Oh, a 5 into the wall. Okay, so he avoids it when Brian Wiggins hits the wall. And then gets upset at the 5? I don't understand here. So, okay, so there's an adjustment made there. Looking to see, I think is that the 97 that turns him? Yeah, I think Daniel Lolis catches the edge there of Brian Wiggins. Wiggins ends up getting turned, sending Anthony Mathis out of control, and then Mathis retaliates. I don't understand. Technically, it's not Wiggins' fault. He might be mad at the wrong guy here. Okay. Well, hopefully somebody's getting an apology up there about what's going on. I don't think that was quite sportsmanlike, but I think they'll be back to it here in just a moment. Pace car lights are out. And it looks like we are already in some trouble here as everybody else is having a blast right now. I think everybody's getting pretty tore up about what is going on out there. Let's see if we can... let me see if I can find... him here. Brian Wiggins. I'm hoping I got you on the radio here, buddy. You out there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. What's going on, Patrick? How you doing, sir?
Doing all right. Now, I know you're pretty frustrated about clipping the wall there. I actually want to dig in just a little bit about actually what happened later on into that run. Looks like there was some retaliation by by the 14 car. I think he's upset at the wrong car out there, buddy.
Yeah, I didn't ever touch the 14 car. I'm upset with the 97. Not sure what happened.
Right.
And, you know.
Well, there is a little bit of net code out there separating a little bit. 97 did get close. U-turn, hit the wall, and 14 flies into the infield, trying to avoid the wreck. And then after the wreck, he comes back and decides to try to fold you up some more. I don't quite know the issue there. I'm hoping you and the 14 can get something worked out. What are we looking at damage time there, buddy?
About 15 minutes of repairs.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, that's definitely tough here, man. I hate seeing that for you. What was the hardest part about this track that was kind of tripping these guys up out there, you know? I noticed traction's becoming a problem.
Yeah, it's basically getting the power down coming out of the corners. You know, you're a little tight coming in and kind of really loose getting off the corners, so it's a little tricky. But I was just kind of cruising out there. I wasn't really pushing it too hard. I was just kind of letting the field kind of settle out and see what we got. Before it even got started, it looks like my night is ending, so kind of sucks.
Boy. I'd almost ask, is there anything you can do? But I think all you got to do is just wait for your pit crew to try to put your car back together. I hate seeing it for you, Brian. It seems this thing just keeps getting worse and worse as the season goes on, but maybe you'll catch a lucky break here pretty soon, man.
If it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. So a little good luck would be nice, man.
Yeah. Well, I definitely understand open setup leagues, man, and I hate seeing that it takes you guys so long to build these cars, and then you're kind of wiped out within the first 20 laps. Definitely makes for a lot of discipline and a lot of patience for the upcoming weeks. So, Brian, hang in there, buddy.
No doubt about it. All right, man. Thank you, and thanks for what you do, Patrick. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, not a problem, buddy. Not a problem. Take it easy. All right, we'll send Brian Wiggins back to the Hendrick Motorsports team, because you can feel the anguish out there. He is pretty upset, and I don't blame him at all. Guys spend an entire week trying to get these cars squared away and everything race-worthy, and then just one little mistake out there, and somebody's turned around. 3 drivers currently sitting down there in pits. Daniel Lolis, Brian Wiggins, and Anthony Mathis out there. That is looking to know what to happen, if you can see what's going on. Right now, Lockridge out there saying they need to know what lap that occurred. If I remember, lap number 10. Lap number 10 is when that last caution happened out there. That was a quick clip out there. Looking to see right now. Remember I said Lilith Peters had been leading some laps. Well, not for long. Right now it does look like there was some change up out there for Lilith Peters. Looks like Mark Sikosi had made the pass out there. There was a little tangle up there in the front. Sikosi was actually able to pass Jared Magoon on lap number 15. And he has been doing nothing but leading it since. Sikosi not looking back at all, as he is getting his Budweiser machine rolling on. Lilith Peters does sit second. Jared Magoon is third. And I believe out of the 3 drivers that were tangled up in that, Anthony Mathis is mobile again. And he is back out there on the track, but I don't know if that car is handling okay. Or if he is still messed up. I think he's on the way back into pit road. Currently, this will put him in a possible finishing position of 13th. I'm sure Wiggins is looking to kind of probably not check out there. I'm hoping he'll look to put some more laps down and see if he can pick up just one more position for the points chase. Ooh, little clip to the wall there. Looks like by Adam Glatfelter. So the car just super loose here tonight. Now, you wouldn't expect that. Seeing these guys are out there on concrete, we should be having a more abrasive surface for these guys to connect to on out there. Let's check back out there in the chat. And I like seeing Molly Panda out there, Zero X Media and Designs. Oh, rooting on the Glat Daddy. Boy, I don't know if I'll call him that forever. And see how it is, how it's going. And Phantom out there rooting on the Outcast boys. Definitely appreciate all you guys joining us here tonight. I know you have subscribed here to the channel. That way you can chat with me. Follow along with the rest of your peers out there, and you can see what we've got going on out there. Definitely a wild race here. Already a couple of cautions have happened as Justin Cope is slicing underneath here. Looks like Eric Johnson will be contested for this position. Moving on, wow, the 59 machine bouncing all over the place as we hop on here with Eric Johnson. Right now watching Cope, looks like he was making a lane of his own. Now, currently, this is the 18 that we're sitting on here. Cope had a run, but has to let off just a little bit. Even Zero X out there saying the track is surprisingly loose. Yeah, I'm really, really confused. Normally, you see something like this in the trucks. You know, you see the trucks out here for about 30, 32 laps, and all of a sudden you'll see the back end of the cars, or the back end of the truck start sliding out and going up there and nudging the edge of the wall. But see, the Gen 4s, I mean, very, very unusual. And that's what I'm worried about tonight. That's why I want to keep checking in occasionally, seeing what that track temperature is doing. We're down at about 81 degrees, so it is fluctuating slightly from our original starting. I knew it's been moving around between 81, 79, around that area, but it's going to be, it's going to be a little bit difficult. Oddly enough, you would think, and Lockridge out there is kind of cueing us in, there's no rubber down right now. Yes, you're 100% right. Looks like it was almost, I believe it was cleaned right before this race went. It hasn't had a chance to rubber up, but I was hoping it would transfer after practice, and it would move from there. And it looks like Control-Alt-4 there for the 14 car. Nope, he reconnects back out there. And right now, I think he is in the middle of it. Right now, that is the number 9 of Jason Crumley trying to find a way around. Right now, that is the lap car of Anthony Mathis. And Daniel Lolis, the 97, who had a hand in our last caution, back out there on the track. Right now, checking by his speed out there. Looks like he's able to get back up to speed. The car seems in good condition. Anthony Mathis, on the other hand, I believe is... No, he's getting up there, 174. So he is still keeping up pace with the rest of these guys. And they are seeing what all they can do. Race still being led out there by Mark Sikosi. Remember I said he started in 9th here tonight, holding that number 1 position by a 1.3 second lead. I was concerned he may be pressing it a little too hard here. If we do go back under caution, seeing we had 2 in a matter of 10 laps. Finally doubling that, moving on to lap number 27. Everything is rolling on through. Zero X out there saying hit that like button to support the broadcast. Oh yeah, appreciate it, buddy. Definitely we try our best here at SimTraX Broadcasting. Don't forget, you can check, I believe, out there with Macedo. I was actually broadcasting for these guys during the week out there, I believe, on their Wednesday night, I think. Currently, I am with the Bandit Racing League on Wednesdays. On Monday, we're with the National Oval Racing Association out there in their Gen 4 cars. Only the other one is Bandit Racing League there. They're running the next gens. So they're in the latest and greatest of the cars. As they give it a go. Right now, they're still trucking all along. Right now, I believe Eric Johnson might be looking to do some work here, but Glatfelter starting to do some work. Glatfelter already starting to pour on the Lilith Peters here as Magoon is already falling down to 4th. And quick slow up there. Glatfelter having to check up. Looks like Lilith Peters has gone ahead and defended that 2nd position well. I think Glatfelter will be next to start getting back to it. Right now, I don't think he's really satisfied with 3rd. Starting in the 6th position. He's looking to take on our pole sitter here of the race. As Sikosi continues to extend his lead out by over 2 seconds now over top of Lilith Peters here. Currently, right now, he is doing an awesome job. Moving on, Eric Johnson sitting 5th. Right now, he'll be trucking behind Jared Magoon. Magoon having a tough time here tonight. These guys started 1 and 2, and now they're on the march back. I'm hoping this is not just speed early run. Something tells me the Lockridge team has built these cars for high speed and a lot more traction when the track is rubbered up. So we may see them falling off earlier here into the race, but I guarantee you we'll start seeing them start making a comeback or picking up speed later on. Eric Johnson loving that paint scheme there, especially when these guys take the time and put a little more of that mirror finish on the side of those cars. Definitely like that. I think I had somebody in a SimTraX car who had that mirror finish on the numbers. Looked beautiful out there. Outcast Motorsports, looking good. All right, let's see if Adam Glatfelter's got his stuff together here. I believe right now Jared Magoon is looking to fight back. Glatfelter has lost a hold of Lilith Peters. Let her get away by about 6. Checking my time in almost 7/10 of a second here. As Lilith Peters is starting to scurry away, Jared Magoon put Glatfelter under some pressure, but he pulled away, no problem. Everything pretty settling down out there. Lap number 33. I think we're just going to be ticking these laps away now. As everybody goes ahead and smooths it out. Gen 4 practice was live yesterday. These guys get a little bit closer as they look to get a little bit closer to the real-time temperatures out there and how the track feels. And they have, I believe, about 40 minutes or an hour of practice before go time. We've got qualifying, 5 minutes of warm-up there for race time so they can get off their qualifying setup and then get back out there. That is what you see currently. All right, Zero Media saying they don't like any stages. No, we're in the Gen 4. We try to keep it Gen 4 style, no stages. That's why sometimes we end up in single-file restarts. Normally that is held more over in the Nashville Racing Association. As we saw here, we were too wide. Getting back underway. Devin Lockridge out there. Yeah, buddy, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty here on the side. As you can see, the woes continue right there. A little trouble we are having on our side, but everything A-OK. Looks like the track is starting to get a little bit better. Everybody feeling a lot better, a lot smoother out there. Nobody really pressing hard on anybody except Jared Magoon. And Magoon started to get a little fidgety playing peekaboo there in the back of Adam Glatfelter. Right now the number 99 trying to see if he can find a hole in his game here. Right now we sit off the nose here of Jared Magoon. Hey, there's that 0X on the side of the car. Hey. Alright, looks like we might be trying here. Jared Magoon trying to find an angle. We hop here in the right rear. In the toddler seat, taking a look. Right now, Glatfelter here with Jared Magoon. This is the only real action here on the track. And we are currently seeing these two getting ready to go at it. Right now, as they are side by side, Glatfelter trying to hold that high line. Boy, that's it. Glatfelter almost looked like he just let off the gas, let him on by. He said, you know what, I'm not interested in battling it out. Hoping a little something will happen here. Right now, Locker just asking for the rubber out there on the track. Make something happen. Hopefully they do get it down. Right now, that is Doug Macedo going down a lap here. Uh-oh. Yeah, I think he's trying to get off the track not to get in anybody's way here. I've seen this before out of the 73. If he's concerned of not being fast enough, he'll go ahead and bow out. Hopefully we do see the 73. Yep, he's going to enter pits. Okay. No problem there. Let's go ahead and see how they do right now. Looking to see, does anybody else have anything? Let's see, Terry Litweiler working on it. Moving up 5. Trying to see who that is in front of him. I think that is... Yeah, it doesn't look like the number 5 car, but it is. That is Drew Kuhn out there. In the number 29. Lockridge said he's still working on him. Yeah. Magoon may have been just trying to loosen him up. I know what he's getting at. is over halfway complete. Sikosi leading this one. I believe we missed the last race that these guys did run out there with the NSR team. Had out there, it was the Southern National Motorsports Park. They ran 275, if I'm not mistaken. This is our winner of that race, who's currently leading this one. Right, sit here and watching Sikosi right now. He is on a roll here. This is him coming up on Brian Wiggins. Yep, 15 and a half in the pit box to stay alive. Number 5 getting past here. Right now that is getting pretty close. As he puts Brian Wiggins down another lap, catching up to the number 97 to Daniel Lolis. And hopefully there's no bad blood there. Remember I said Wiggins and Lolis are the ones who got into it first before Anthony Mathis went down and slammed into the inside wall trying to avoid the wreck. All right, saying when we should expect pit stops. Well, Drew Kuhn is on his way down, and I was almost figuring that we were going to be looking somewhere around the lap 50 to 56 mark is when we should see guys coming in. But it is so hard to determine whether guys are coming in or not and when they came in. Lilith Peters did come down for a top-off on fuel on lap number 11. So we're going to be offsetting that pit stage here just a little bit, as drivers like Mark Sikosi and Jared Magoon have yet to pit. So odd change what we're looking at here is Lilith Peters sideways coming into pit. Wow. All right. The 01 starting to slow it on down, coming down. So that does leave us with Sikosi and Magoon. Still out there who haven't pit. So we're still shuffling it up a little bit. Pit stops are happening. Johnson, Glatfelter, and Kuhn have already been down. Lap 42 and 43. Peters is the only one who's currently down pit. Sikosi trying to stretch this out as far as he can. He's currently holding a 4-second lead over top of the number 99 of Jared Magoon that we are currently got our eyes fixated on. Moving on, that should give Justin Cope and Litweiler, Howard, and Jason Crumley, who came on lap number 11. A little bit of wiggle room. Daniel Lolis and Anthony Mathis did as well, but they had been in there under some heavy repair to get their cars fixed and squared away. All right, lap number 47 has been completed. Sikosi now starting on his 48th lap as they keep wrapping around this. All right, looks like 0X. Definitely on the horn here. You were out there in the chat blowing it up. Love it, buddy. Try to answer everything that we can. If it's anything really league related or strategy related that you're looking for 100%, that Lockridge Motorsports out there, that is another race team. So I would love to see if Lockridge Motorsports, maybe 0X team out there, that you guys start almost a battle of the teams out there. Something tells me there's going to be a little racing going on out there of who is the best builder. That would be something. All right, let's take a look here. Right now, Lilith Peters throwing on fresh tires and fuel. Starting to knock down her fastest times here of the night with a 14.84 last lap. That's a 10th faster than anybody else has run through that stint. That is pretty quick. Right now, still rolling on. Jared Magoon and Terry Litweiler coming on in. Yeah, I would say Magoon, this is a good time. He's on down. Litweiler is the one we saw who is entering pit. That still leaves Sikosi out there, who is yet to pit, still on the same tires that started this race. Interesting call here by Sikosi to continue to go on through. Looking at the timer, he has spent exactly 50 laps on the concrete. He's yet to meet the pavement, though, as he creeps up here on the number 9 of Jason Crumley. Litweiler still in pits. He's working his way out of the lane now. Leave here in a couple of seconds. There he is. Yep, he just broke the line. So now he's out on the track. Sikosi's still remaining out there. All right. Zero X, you also broadcast? That's what I'm talking about. Get you some. I was going to say, is it as easy as it looks? Doing the producing and everything in the background, man. Definitely, you can tell when people have spent some time doing it here in the booth. Right, awesome job, Sikosi. Looked like he was slowing down a little bit there. He kind of teased us a little bit, thinking about coming down into pits. Right now, I would say, if we are looking at pit strategy or any sort of separation here, this would be the guy. You're going to find out how far that fuel will go. I know Sikosi likes playing around with the gear changes in the back a little bit to try to extend his pit stops. So you'll see him get taken off there. Remember, Sikosi was falling back earlier in the race, and now he is just continuing his role here. What's impressive, though, is his last lap, taking a look at that timing, 31:19. It was actually 31:24 the lap before, and that is still well within range. That's only 1.2 seconds off, well, actually only about a second off some of our fastest guys. Jared Magoon just knocked down at 29:97. So fresh tires, he's enjoying them right now as he's starting to really pick up the pace. But still, Sikosi leads this charge out here out front. And it is definitely changing up here. What I love to see is that Sikosi is able to maintain speed, 31:03. So still, this is an excellent run here, as from Sikosi, a 1 second fall off over 54 laps. But this is impressive here. This is absolutely impressive here, what Sikosi has been able to do. The tire savings we're seeing here, the fuel mileage he's pulling, now 55 laps that car has run. See what these guys have got going on. Looks like Brett Bullard out there saying, yeah, wish you could battle with these guys out there on the track. Well, definitely could use that 15th driver. I'd have a full screen over here on my side. Be a little more than 7 rows. Oh, Sikosi, I see 80 miles an hour. Yeah. All right. He draws the line at 56 laps. So this will give his over 11-second lead over top of Justin Cope. We're going to go ahead and scrub that out. Cope is going to stay out there and show you he can go even farther than that. Right now, I wonder if Cope has been clutching it around here as we hop inside his car. Cope's not known much for dropping the clutch out on these things. He definitely likes to just go ahead and let the car slow itself down into the turns. Yeah, Zero X is out there even saying that this may be the toughest cars out there. I would say, I would agree with you. Some guys do complain next gens are almost impossible because they drive like bricks. They're almost, you know, you can't get them to pass. You can't get them to pick up any pace. The tires are just what they are. You can actually manage the Gen 4s. But I see that I believe it's going to be Chevy and Ford are going to be the first ones to lead off here, I believe, in a couple of weeks for the next update. They're going to be separating off the Chevy body here. They're going to be changing up a little bit. As you can see, is, you know, we're following behind with Justin Cope. Currently, it's showing a Chevy body, but that has a Ford sticker on his car, so the paint scheme does not match the car, so everything's changing up just a little bit out there. So I would say the guys in the Gen 4s are loving racing those old school throwbacks. 900 horsepower, a lot of power. You know, a lot more tire you can deal with rather than dealing on a more low-profile tire than the next gen. As you can see, I believe somebody was slipping out there. That was Drew. That's who I thought that was, Drew Kuhn. That's going to be playing up there a little bit. All right, Zero X Media and Design. All right, well, we talked about design a little bit as Justin Cope is working his way down pit road. Let's talk a little bit about design. If they do change the bodies, or you're assuming that you do paint schemes, is everything kind of get messed up with you guys? Because you guys got some sharp stuff out here. All right. Justin Cope down pit road. That's going to leave us with Lilith Peters regaining the lead. Here in just a moment, taking a look, Eric Johnson, I believe, is only about about 2 seconds behind. And that's the 18. Here we are. There he is. Eric Johnson. Right now, Adam Glatfelter only half a second behind that. And Jared Magoon right now at the rear bumper there of Glatfelter. Right now, we sat on board there with Jared Magoon there for a moment. As right now, Glatfelter is going to be looking to see if he can fend him off. Doesn't look like it, though. Looks like it might go here. Nope. Let's take a look at the 99. Tier 1 setup shop on the side of Jared Magoon's car. No. Lockridge. You can't fool me like this. All right now this is the battle here for third. Taking a good look as we take a quick peek. Glatfelter gonna go ahead and give it up. Magoon goes ahead and nabs third. Boy, as I say that, almost cross over. Glatfelter looked like he was a little afraid of going up there and giving a quick hiss to the wall. As we scramble to look for Mark Sikosi out there. Sikosi knocking down 30-second laps. Currently running about half a second to 0.6 of a second faster than anybody else here on the field. Expect to see Sikosi return back up front. But Sikosi with a huge change. Looking compared to our leader, about 11 laps longer than Lilith Peters out there. Yep, and currently running as of now 0.7 of a second faster. So Sikosi not looking to wait any time. He'll have 4 seconds before he can catch Adam Glatfelter out here. Drivers still laps down out there. Go to Jason Crumley, Eric Howard, Doug Macedo, Daniel Lolis out there, Anthony Mathis, and Brian Wiggins. Remember, Mathis was hoping that Wiggins was going to stay down there in pit for a much longer time. The 14 car has gone ahead and checked out here for the night there on lap number 42. Brian Wiggins needs to make up about another 6 more laps to go ahead and get 13th. Lola's still rolling around out there. He's been there out there since, lap 56 is what he's currently on. So you know Mathis is down a boatload of laps, though. I'm hoping he is able to get back out there. Lola's down 8, I believe, and Macedo is down 3. Eric Howard are down 2. Let's see if we can see how Jared Magoon is doing. Magoon has gone ahead and put Eric Johnson into the rearview mirror. Johnson, that was a lot easier of a pass out there compared to what he was fighting Glatfelter with. There's a quick skate on by. There was no switching back and forth. He got underneath and went ahead and passed. Moving on through. Appreciate you guys joining us here out there. Fubar Studios of Doug Macedo is out there checking to see how everybody is doing. Macedo did come down on lap number 38 a little bit early. Macedo may be looking to extend this one, although we did have pace laps there in the first stint. I believe Macedo has only been down, yes, twice here tonight. Quick little touch on fuel and then back out there. We are sitting on top looking kind of down at Eric Johnson's car. In the black, white, and gold car. And everything is smoothing out just a bit here. Now Lilith Peters does lead out in front. In the number 1 spot there, 2 seconds behind sits Jared Magoon. Another second beyond that is Eric Johnson for a 1, 2, and 3. And we'll kind of take a kind of an overlook here of what these drivers are doing. And they have over 100 laps left to go here. Take a deep breath from all of our drivers out there, thinking this one is going to be a long one, and they aren't wrong. It's going to be some trouble out there. Let me see if I can find something after Southern National. Who's leading our points race? And that should have gone to Mark Sikosi, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Mark Sikosi is currently sitting on 1 win. Jared Hayes has the other. So Sikosi, Hayes, Justin Cope, Jared Magoon, and Jason Crumley sitting 1 through 5. And they are only a few points behind. Not very many. Only Crumley is even only 8 points behind the leader. Yeah, drivers like Johnny Taylor and Justin Williams, they're going to have a hard time. Brett Bullard missing this race. That's going to hurt him pretty bad. As the number 44 dropped 9 places last race. And he is missing this race here tonight. That is even worse. Wiggins with a ton of damage. He'll have possibly a 13th place finish. And he may continue to roll back. Currently Eric Howard, who's the driver ahead of him, looking to reel him in, is currently setting 10th. All right, how many tires are the drivers gifted out there? They are gifted 4 sets of tires down there in pits. 5 to start the race, so they count the one that's on the car, 4 in the pits. You know, sometimes depending on the league, it changes up a little bit out there. I know over with the National Oval Racing Association, the tires can be upwards of 10, which is almost all the drivers and race teams could afford at that time. I believe they were saying they were almost $1,400 a tire. It's pretty rough. Nothing better than running through some oil and then it's ruined. So keep this one going. All right. Showing Mark Sikosi had made a pass there on Eric Johnson back on lap number 71. Kind of take a look at that. Right now, Macedo hard on the brakes. That car, you can see the front end of that car is plowing something fierce. Let's take a look back at what happened to Mark Sikosi as he's working away lap traffic. Good Lord. Must have gotten in the nosebleed blimp up top here. A little bit closer. Yep, slices right underneath. Quick pass for Sikosi. Only got 2 more to go. Jared Magoon and Lilith Peters. Wonder if Lilith Peters is thinking about clutching it as well, trying to extend to see how far out we can get before things start happening. All right, Adam Glatfelter has fallen back down to 5th. He started 6th in this race. Currently, as everybody is slicing and moving around out here, trying to find if this track is going to rubber up as the sun sets, lights are starting to come on. Things are getting ready to start changing out there on the track. Let's see if we can get a check on our track, dropping down now to 80 degrees with the sun setting. Let's see if this thing drops down around about 76 degrees with a little bit of rubber. I think the Lockridge team is going to have a little bit of fun out there trying to figure out how to keep it tight on the track, but not ice skating. It's going to be pretty rough. Lilith Peters still holding the lead, checking back in on Sikosi. I think Sikosi is finally reeled in Jared Magoon. Magoon running a 31-second lap, 30.6 for Sikosi. And here is... right now, Magoon under fire, looking to see if there's going to be a pass here. Ooh, very close. Budweiser machine, I think, pinches. Yep, underneath he goes. The 8 machine looking very solid. So he goes ahead and gets on around there. Great job. Magoon looking to live and fight another day here. No, he doesn't want to see Sikosi drive off, but he does have the tire advantage. This is about 8 laps later. Lilith Peters is going to be the sitting duck here, sitting of only 3/4 of a second behind. Not seeing a whole lot of rubber out there on the track. Normally you'll start seeing the little rubber chips up close to the wall. Nothing good enough yet. Currently sitting on Lilith Peters' car. Looking back at the Sikosi. See if they can hang on. Lockridge is hoping that there will be a plateau in the time out there. I could probably agree with that looking at the time. Lilith Peters with 31.14. Sikosi now with a 30.73. Here comes Sikosi down to the inside. Pass for the lead. Sikosi looking for it. Oh, man, he's so close. Right now, Sikosi just trying to see if he can get just a little more here. And I think he's done it, looking for Lilith Peters. Peters toward the top. And that's going to put Sikosi into the lead. All right. That's a beautiful question out there, 0X. I believe Lockridge Motorsports can probably answer that one there a little bit. Right now, that 8 is quick. Right now, knocking down a 30.9 as Lilith Peters is starting to fizzle out here, 31.46, and rolling back. That's already 0.3 slower than Jared Magoon, her own teammate. Boy, pretty tough here. Right now, as Lockridge says he's out there doing the crew chief and having to play RC. I'll say RC looking pretty easy here tonight. Not a whole lot of stuff happening. Whoop, Magoon little blank out there. Where's Justin Cope? There he is. I think Justin Cope just made the pass there on Drew Kuhn. We say we look at it again. Maybe not from the nosebleed blimp. Lower down to the Michelin chopper view. Watch how Cope makes this pass. You can almost see the setup there. A little bit of door draft. Bounces. Round he goes. Piece of cake. Now Justin Cope last took tires on lap number 60. That gives him a 17-lap tire advantage. And, woo, first taker here. Eric Johnson coming on down in the pit. Interesting call here. Lap number 85 is when we'll see Eric Johnson coming down in the pit. Taking a look out there, I believe we have reached the halfway point of our race here. Sikosi's still insanely fast out there. Right now, I think he's trying to put a few more drivers some laps down. I believe he's catching up currently on the number 76, Eric Howard. We can kind of sit along here with Howard. Maybe rear bumper view. Taking a look at Sikosi's machine. Right now, does he just follow along and use this as fuel savings, or does he make the pass? Well, he gives up. Underneath, he's going to go. Boy, he'd already slung past. Yes, he did. Whoa. Eric Howard pitting back on lap number 58. Keep shuffling on around. All right, so a couple of guys are trying it out. Drew Kuhn coming on down. See who out there is close. Justin Cope. Tire advantage. Got to start picking up the pace here. Although he did hang out a bit longer out there, about 4 laps longer than Sikosi. Currently, Justin Cope may need to shorten his pit stop here. His separation is 18.2 seconds before he can find the leader, Mark Sikosi. So he definitely needs to change it up here and figure out what he can do. Can he short pit? You know, would this be a chance of some right side tires and get back out there? to start cutting into Sikosi's lead. But taking a look, whatever Sikosi has been doing, a 0.3 gap or gain for Sikosi over top of Cope. It's pretty impressive out there. Still running under 31 seconds for the number 8 car. Lilith Peters coming in on lap number 86. Just ran almost a 30-second flat. So Peters currently sitting in 4th, but is already 43 seconds behind, which means she's already a lap down. This field, if this thing goes under caution, that's going to be some trouble out there. A lot of drivers that do want to get back onto the lead lap. Right now, Sikosi has been putting on a clinic here so far. That's him passing Terry Litweiler. That puts him down yet another lap. Doug Macedo is next. High line for Macedo, and Sikosi just flossing on through. This does not seem to have any issues for him here tonight. I don't think he's going to have anything slowing him down. Currently, this is definitely working really well out there for Lockridge Motorsports. Do want to note that Eric Howard is one of those drivers out there with Jared Magoon and Lilith Peters. Brett Bullard said he was unable to make it, but hopefully we will see him at the next race. Extreme Motorsports consists of Daniel Owens out there. Hendrick Motorsports has Brian Wiggins. Outcast, I believe, has Glatfelter, Drew Kuhn, and Terry Litweiler. I'm sure I'm missing somebody with a new team. A little trouble to collect them all. Speed Demon Racing holding on to Jason Crumley, Justin Cope, and Mark Sikosi. That's who they are with here tonight. And I, Patrick, are here with SimTraX Broadcasting. Do appreciate you guys liking and subscribing. Don't forget, I also have a website out there, simtraxbroadcasting.com. You can find all the races all the way back to race number 1 that we broadcast all the way till now. I believe most of those leagues that we did broadcast are still active. And they are out there racing. I know Big Show Racing, I'm sure they are racing. I think it's the last Sunday of every month, I think is what they're running, and they're out there running for some money. And Brett Bullard out there saying doubtful on a long work trip, not able to bring the computer with you. Oh, man. Dude, I saw somebody bring a set of pedals, a steering wheel, no shifter, and his laptop, and was out here running. But, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was rough, but it was the appearance that was impressive. I mean, he was blinking all over the place. That laptop was doing everything that it could. All right, let's check back in on Sikosi here. 5.5 seconds out in front of Jared Magoon. Trying to hang out as long as he can. Interesting to see Magoon is stretching it out a lot longer. Lilith Peters came in on lap number 86, so already 10 laps on her tires. They're giving it a go. I know, you almost want to grab a hold of Sikosi out there, bring him up and say, dude, that car's on fire here tonight. He is doing an awesome job. As soon as Jared Magoon does need to pit, which he will have to pit before all of them, it'll be a 23-second gap between Sikosi and Cope, and Cope's going to go ahead and bring it on down. Good call here for Cope. I like what he's thinking here. Saying something's got to change, because it just keeps going on back. No way. Lilith Peters has to go. No way. Boy, that is a bummer there. Lilith Peters having to check out here. Wow. We're just poking at you, Brett. We're just poking at you, buddy. Yeah, we had a guy so dedicated to one league. I think it was the Racing Revolution League. He was so dedicated that he'd take it between house to house. I believe to his mom's house and then back to his college dorm room. And then race it there. Zero X is saying laptop and a controller. Alright, looks like Jared Magoon giving his car a last shakedown before he heads into the pit box. So we saw Justin Cope come in earlier. For lap number 96 is when he came down. We got our eyes on Jared Magoon to see if he's thinking about doing anything different. And he's not. 4 tires and fuel. And it looks like a slight adjustment. Back out he's going to go. Right now as this night kind of lags on here. And the track temp changing a little bit. I wonder if there's anything that Magoon can do. Or if he's kind of radioing in what these tires feel like. If a slight air pressure adjustment. And back out he's going to go. Because right now that car has been doing pretty well. Yeah, even Zero X out there is saying about using the rig. Some serious dedication. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Looks like a little bit low tire pressure there on the left front there for Jared Magoon. All right, let's get back up here to Eric Johnson. You guys are saying Johnson out there is definitely using some strategy. Right now he is currently hitting in second. But I believe everybody on the track is a lap down, except Mark Sikosi, who's still out there. Now, if he's looking to double it here, which I would be really impressed if he can two-stop this race, if this thing does go green the entire way. Mark Sikosi being able to hit, let's say, what, 112? And then make it to the end? I don't know. I think that would be a stretch, though. That'd be a stretch, but at this point, he could even come down, take 4 tires of fuel, and get back out there and still be in the lead. Or at least be able to run these guys down. That would be something. But we'll see. Checking out there in the chat, Brett Bullard, I'm telling you, buddy, you do that, I want pictures. I want pictures. A rig in the back of a toy hauler, that would be insane. That would be insane. All right, Mark Sikosi still holding on out there. Now under 37 seconds as Eric Johnson is starting to pick up the pace. Only buddy close on tire strategy. Lap number 58 is when Eric Howard. So we had Sikosi at 56, we had Howard at 58, and we had Justin Cope at 60. And out of the 3 of them, Cope came down first on lap number 96 for a 23.6 second pit stop, which hate to say it is rather slow. Seeing everybody else is between a 14.6 and 15 seconds flat. And we're going to see. Mark Sikosi. Yeah, even Lockridge saying it is possible for him to make it all the way to the end. That's what I'm saying. It would be very close. I would say if he has a comfortable lead out front, we'll probably see Sikosi clutch it to the end. As he is working past Brian Wiggins out there. Wiggins sat in 13th. Unfortunately, that does put him a total of 30 laps down. And Lola's coming on down to 97. And the 76 is already working on the way down. Yeah, 0X is asking, was there a penalty or did he overshoot pit? If Justin Cope overshot pit, he missed it by a bunch out there, and then maybe fumbled around with the gears. I'll see if we can find something with Cope and see if we can see what happened with him entering pits there on lap number 97. Here we are looking over top. That's Macedo working out. And should be right there in the box. Yeah, there shouldn't be any penalty. Most penalties last up somewhere around 15 seconds. Yep. Outside tires, inside tires, and then... Yeah, I'm wondering if he had a little bit of damage out there. Try to see if he gets some of it worked on. If I'm not mistaken, looking at the... Notice the 59 on this side of the car and the 59 on this side of the car. So he has scrubbed the wall a couple of times here. I'm wondering if Cope's just looking to get some of that damage fixed, and I wouldn't blame him. We still got a lot more race left here to go. And Cope's seeing if he can square away some of that car. Yeah, 0X saying that damage makes sense. Oh, yeah. Roush Racing Team there with number 59 looking to get to work. As I believe as we were looking at our replay there, Mark Sikosi came on down to lap 109. So 109 to the end. Could be possible. May have looked a little more fuel there. Now you're saying if the stars align, this guy hit on lap 109 and can make it to 170. I think that might be the longest stint he'd have to pull. So 56 and 109 is when he came down and pit. I mean, we're having a kind of pull. Boy, that's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. I mean, we're talking, what, 61 from 62 laps? Hope didn't even go that far. We'll kind of hold our breath here and see what Sikosi does. Obviously, Eric Johnson and Jared Magoon are going to have to pit one more time. So he will be able to regain the lead as you see him passing Adam Glatfelter there, who's currently in the 4th spot. Sikosi now up to 3rd. Saying it's good enough. Full tank is 56. Yeah, but from 170 to 109, that still leaves me exactly 61 laps you've got to pull out there, which may leave him 4 or 5 laps short. Wonder how they're going to work out that calculation. Alrighty. Do appreciate you guys joining us here at SimTraX. This is the NSR series running the Federated Auto Parts 400 here at Nashville Super Speedway. Right now we are currently looking at Mark Sikosi City in 3rd. We're going to go ahead and move up to Eric Johnson, give him some time in the spotlight with his 2.5-second lead over top of Jared Magoon in the 99. Magoon has been top 5 here all night. Been an awesome job. Eric Johnson, he started down in 4th, has the lead. He's got definitely a gaggle of cars sitting behind him. Right now a couple lap cars would like to get him back. Daniel Lolis, troublemaker of caution number 2, looking to the inside. See if he can get one of his laps back here. I would say if I were Eric Johnson, just go ahead and let him go on by. Right now this is messing up his race line. want to be the fastest. Cope getting on around. Cope now getting his lap back. Puts him now back onto the lead lap. Whoop, not so fast though, Eric Johnson says. He holds him down. Whoop. Boy, Eric Johnson, boy, he took a couple chunks of rubber off on that slide. Now he's into the wall right rear. Lap 84 is the last time he came down. Sikosi only behind by 1.2 seconds. Holy cow, where did he come from? This is him now to Jared Magoon. Here's the pass, nice and easy for Sikosi. Gets on around. Right now he's looking to go back-to-back wins. Him running up on our leader. Sikosi looking for a good opportunity. Sit on board. One but two. Is he taking on Justin Cope and trying to put him a lap down here? Yes, he is. 59 machine gonna go back down a lap. Sikosi. What in the world is going on here? Blazing fast time here from Sikosi. 30.6 was his last lap. We'll see what it looks like here this time around. See, and he is getting back out there. Look at the distance. Jared Magoon has to be pretty hard on the brakes. Looks like Cope did make a pretty rough block there on the bottom. Magoon trying to dive bomb it in there a little bit. There he goes. Gets on around. That moves Eric Johnson back to third. But with that block, 1.3 seconds, Sikosi's been able to squeeze away. I think that's what I'm seeing. That is him. See Phantom 79 out there saying, let's get it. I'm fairly certain you're up there in the Outcast Motorsports team, aren't you? All I see is a P. Our drivers out there, we'll see how we do. All right, Sikosi now extending. Go ahead and stretching those legs way out now. 1.8 seconds, continuing to run away from Jared Magoon. So the only thing and the hurdle that gets Mark Sikosi right now is, does he have enough fuel to squeeze it to the end? There we go. Yep, that is Phantom. All right. What are you doing out there, Phantom? You crew chiefing, buddy? No, you're not texting and driving. Checking some of our battles out here on the track. Everybody's separated by at least a minimum of 2 seconds out here. As they go ahead and truck on around the track. You see where everybody is strewn about there just a bit. I believe Eric Johnson has the only person that's even close to him. Justin Cope. But other than that, that's pretty much it. And that wouldn't even be for position. Checking right, I believe about 45 laps left to go in this run here for the Federated Autosports 400. Once again, I do appreciate you guys joining us here at SimTraX Broadcasting. If you think you got what it takes to hang with these guys, and we already have 2 teams, probably 3 if you want to count Mark Sikosi's team, although he is part of the admin. We have plenty of room out here at this league. And if this isn't quite your cup of tea here with the Gen 4s in SimTraX Broadcasting bringing it to you live, they've definitely got plenty of other races out there. I know they have endurance on the weekends for some of the races that they hold. Wednesdays is ARCA. Yeah, I think it's a late model. believe the late model short track on Thursdays, Gen 4 here on Saturdays. If you're unsure how to do it, you can get a hold of Devin Lockridge out there. I know he's definitely busy, though. I would definitely reach out to Mark Sikosi or Justin Cope. Those are your guys to help get you into the league here. Get you going. Well, I don't want to forget Tuesdays. They're running GT3 and GT4s on Tuesdays. So check these guys out. This is definitely a multi-platform league out there of what they are out there racing. Adam Glatfelter coming on in. Brian Wiggins coming on in. This may be their final pit stop here of the night. We can see some smoke coming out of Wiggins, though. Uh-oh. All right, Stella asking if these drivers use the money shift in these cars or at this track. I would say no, not in the Gen 4 cars. That is a no-go. See, they're still running an H-pattern shifter. Next gens, they are in the sequentials, and they have a fifth gear. So I would say no, nobody's dropping down in a third and risking, blowing a clutch here. I would say possibly if the next gens, if this was an open series next gen, I've seen the guys mostly set it up for a 4-speed car, and then they never shift into fifth. Lockridge saying shatter the box. Yeah, word to the grapevine. I think I was even talking to the guys who build the car, and they say this is like a Volkswagen transmission. Just the whole 4-speed H-pattern shifter out there. Scott's still leading this one, 9.5 seconds out front. I think he's feeling pretty confident out there. I'd just be worried about his fuel mileage. Lockridge Motorsports. Says he's been in the garages in the days. Ah, it is. Okay, good. I was going to say, I was fairly certain it was. Volkswagen 4-speed trans. Yeah, now I think they only have, 3 motor choices that these guys are allowed to have. I thought it was 2 Chevys and 1 Ford. Most of them around about that 350 mark. Yeah, I think it was 350. One of them was a 383, but then it was down-tuned to the intakes or something. Yeah, there was something weird about it. And then the Ford, there was only one way to have it. So, not anymore. All right, Justin Cope looking a little slow right now. Currently running down in the 32-second area. Yeah, so my eyes do not deceive me here. Right now, Cope. Something might be going on here. That car is definitely, it almost looks like it tightened up on him here. I think it's looking pretty ugly. Finally getting up some high position. Terry Litweiler. Looks like his lap 88 pit stop helped him out. Right now, currently holding on to the second position. Him and Drew Kuhn are going to have to pit again. Right now, apparently, he already knows that. Down he comes. Terry Litweiler working his way on down. And Mark Sikosi. Sikosi coming on down. Yeah, there we go. All right, so he realizes he's just out of fuel. Does Sikosi take 4 tires, though? This is the big question. Right now, this is a position where somebody like Jared Magoon could try to come up with some positions here. Because I'm assuming, yep, we're going to take right side tires. We're going to get enough fuel to make it to the end. Does he take lefts? He does. 4 tires for Sikosi. That's crazy. So Sikosi currently holding the number 1 spot, currently 35 seconds ahead. Magoon's looking to run him down as quick as he can. Magoon came in on lap number 130. This may be the switch up we were looking for. Currently 2 seconds. Sikosi, that's him on the inside here. And Jared Magoon seeing to see if he can pass Sikosi, and he's got to be quick to the floor. Here comes Magoon around. I don't think he's going to get him. Oh, he's going to have him here for just a moment. But Sikosi's just waiting for those tires to warm up, and then he's going to look to be right back on the attack. Holy cow. Great call there by the Lockridge Motorsports crew here, with Jared Magoon taking over the lead, coming down on lap 130. This gives them now an opportunity, or at least a chance here, to see if they can take on Mark Sikosi. Currently, the number 8 has been just about untouchable here tonight, but now Magoon leads it. I think Magoon has only led a couple of laps here tonight. He got it away from Lilith Peters, and then Mark Sikosi went ahead and slung on by, and then Magoon never saw it again. So currently, right now, watch Sikosi looking to pinch him into a lapped car. Magoon's got to get down. Oh, no. Magoon falling to second here. Now Sikosi's going to push the lap car up, and Magoon's trapped. Yep, that's it. Sikosi, gone, baby. Right now, the Budweiser machine out in front. And that's all he needed was the clean air. Jared Magoon, I'm hoping he's not going to fry the tires off here trying to run him down. A little bit of excitement here right in the final parts here of this race. Sikosi decides to short pit. Lap 106 is when he came down, and he revisits back on 135. And he will definitely make it all the way to the end. I think that's going to be all she wrote out there, as he now continues to extend his lead over top of Jared Magoon in the 99. Yeah, great move there by Mark Sikosi. Kind of pinching him up into, I believe it was Eric Howard there. And gave him the opportunity to go ahead and keep him held up top so Sikosi could squirt out of there and get away. So that worked out really well out there. Bummer. Checking in on Justin Cope. Currently looking like he'll have a 5th position here. Brian Wiggins back down pit road. Remember I said I thought I saw some engine smoke. And it looks like Wiggins. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to run down Doug Macedo. Which Macedo, I've got to say, Macedo doing a lot better here. And I would say here, even, Stella, who's watched out here before, this is almost a 180 here for Doug Macedo. Right now, Doug Macedo, I think they were saying they were checking out there, and he had a little bit of trouble out there with calibration of his pedals. So they've got this guy's pedals calibrated, and this guy, I'm not poking fun here at him, but he might finish a race here. Doug Macedo has had nothing but trouble here the beginning parts, and he says the car just feels weird. It won't go. I think they may have fixed it here. Is normally we used to see him out there about 30 miles an hour slower than everybody else. But the Food Bar Studios machine is out front, and now I know we still got to figure out what to do about getting some numbers on his car. See if we can fix that thing there for the number 73. Starting to look at some of our last lap times. Find those up in the top. On the top runner there, and you'll start seeing where everybody is. And who's starting to run down who. You might see some opportunities right now. Looking at some of the intervals here. Right now, I think Jason Crumley is getting pretty close. Right now, I think Crumley has Eric Howard behind him. This may be a pass for the 8th position. I think Howard's actually on the roll backwards, the number 76. Pitting at 104, Crumley on 129, so as he waves goodbye to him. We'll look at the rest of our field here. Give you a quick rundown. Mark Sikosi sitting in the number 1 spot. Jared Magoon is 2nd. Eric Johnson 3rd. Moving on to Adam Glatfelter, who's currently sitting 4th next to Terry Litweiler. And all these guys have pit since lap number 126 and fresher than that. Moving on to our lap cards, Drew Kuhn, who sits 6th, Justin Cope 7th, Jason Crumley 8th, Eric Howard is sitting in 9th, Daniel Lolis still mobile out there, holding on to a 10th position, and Doug Macedo sitting in 11th. Right now, Brian Wiggins currently sitting in the 12th position after 10 minutes down in the pits, and moving on to our drivers who are down into the garage, which are Lilith Peters and Anthony Mathis. Now, Mathis did have a little retaliation there on the second caution of the night, which unfortunately we don't recommend until you see the whole wreck. Doug Macedo working his way down in the pit for his 4th time here tonight. I don't think he's going to have tires. Hopefully he has one set left. Go out there and enjoy the rest of his race, since he has only 23 laps left to go here at Nashville. Yeah, right now Stella's out there saying she was commenting that Lockridge has made so many tremendous changes in so many of these drivers. Yes, he has. Definitely, I would say Jared Magoon was outside the top 10 driver. Right now, he's sitting for a podium position tonight. Only, I believe, about currently 3.7 seconds off our fastest driver here. Unfortunately, he is currently looking at our timing here, running about half a second slower than our leader. But Sikosi has had this thing on a rail here tonight. I wasn't sure if anybody was going to catch him unless he got in more trouble. So it goes to show you what time in has gotten for him here. We're working on coming up with 20 to go. Sikosi's been doing fantastic here. So not only with Magoon, but Magoon also had a little help out there from Lilith Peters. Peters coming into the league a little bit later. I know that's the driver we need back out here. We do need Brett Bullard. I think I just got a picture of this guy's rig. Pretty sweet. I gotta send him one of mine. And then show him I never use it here because I'm here broadcasting. But that's okay. That's all right. All right. Currently, Sikosi has been trucking on around. And the process of that has gone ahead and put the 71 of Terry Litweiler down a lap, although he holds 5th. Right now, I would say, in the grand scheme of things, and kind of looking at this from a 30,000-foot perspective, right now I think our Outcast team is going to be heading back to the drawing board after this one. I'm not saying nothing bad. Great job by them coming out here. I just think they're going to have to up their game here a little bit, seeing that Mark Sikosi comes out here and just is absolutely owning the field here. So this would give them, you know, kind of that opportunity of looking at this going, all right, well, we've met a real challenge here. You know, Mark Sikosi is beatable. Trust me, he's beatable. He's not the guy who comes out here and wins every single week, but he is beatable. But this gives these other drivers the opportunity to say, okay, well, we've got a real challenge here. So what can I do to beat Mark Sikosi? What can I do to beat the Lockridge Motorsports gang, and see what we can do as all these guys definitely work together to get these cars squared away. I've even seen other teams help other teams out there. It's not, not a one-for-all out there. It's being able to have that opportunity here with the NSR League. I really is starting to see this league kind of blossom a little bit out there. It's kind of seeing it grow up a little bit. And these guys really work hard. So I would say that this would be the opportunity for Outcast Motorsports to come in next week. And I would say probably with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. They're going to be coming out here going, hey, man, we may have gotten a couple of guys that looks like, Adam Glatfelter, Terry Litweiler, Drew Kuhn. These guys are doing a great job out there. But I think they got some more. And I think they have more to provide for this league. And I think they can do a lot more and really keep pushing out there and making something happen. They will have that opportunity next week as we head to the Napa Auto Parts 400 for Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway. Yes. And you might be scratching your head thinking, what in the heck are we doing at Kern Raceway? 275 laps. Apparently somebody loves short tracks, so we're going to get them. We're going to squeeze them all in there and let them rip. Zero X Media out there saying 3 in the top 5 is not bad. No, absolutely not. 3 in the top 5 is great. I'm just saying this, when it gets to Kern, from what I heard happened last week, that Sikosi blew the doors off everybody on that one, but there were a bunch of cautions as well. And it's to be expected at a short track. It happens. Guys blowing it away, but we've got other tracks like Sebring International Raceway. That's going to be a wild race. The All-Star race, they're going to be at iRacing Super Speedway, which is, to me, probably going to be the craziest thing. iRacing Super Speedway can get guys over 225, 250 miles an hour, so we'll see how that track holds up. That one will have stages in it, though. But we aren't even close to the chase for the Cup yet. We still got a few months to go before we get there. All right. See? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. See what Zero X Media is saying out there in the chat? That's what I'm talking about. So now you're saying, all right, you got one guy out there who can go out there and let it rip. He said you might want to watch that guy. I don't know, because Stella, you've been with me a couple of times out there during the broadcast, and you've seen you've seen some leagues where it's the same guy who's out there top 3 every week. And it's not that case here at the NSR League, or over there, nor over at Bandit. Bandit does have about 5 guys that you can just about put your money on for a top 3. But right now, Sikosi's got a great run here, having a couple of opportunities to come away with back-to-back wins. He's awesome in this car right now, and this is also what I kind of. This is kind of what I recommend to anybody out there watching or subscribe to this channel, is if you think you can take these guys on, do exactly what you see Zero X Media and Design out there recommending is, hey, we're good. We found somebody worthy of our challenge, and let's go out here and give these guys a run for their money. See if, is Mark Sikosi as fast as we think he is? Well, currently, right now, he's about 6.5 seconds faster than the rest of the field out here at a minimum. So if you think you can beat him, come on out here. Let's see what you can do. It is friendly, though. These guys do, we help each other if things go sideways. We don't really pull the number 14 move out there, but definitely these guys out there giving it a go. I would say, Stella, right now, Douglas Macedo has completed 148 laps here tonight. So I think with setting him up with the pedals and everything else, that's the whole thing. Everybody wants to see everybody getting faster out here, and that's exactly what you want to see out of any league. You want to see the league getting better as a whole, not just 2 or 3 drivers out there, blowing the doors off everybody, and everybody else is putting around, in the back 20. So you hate to see that. So, yep, yeah, there you go, Stella. I'm fairly certain you're thinking about the, yeah, never mind. There's another open setup league we were running. So, all right, 7 laps left to go. We do take a peek in here on Mark Sikosi, as we were looking to see if Jared Magoon was able to come up with any sort of an answer. Unfortunately, Magoon is starting to drop under 3-second lead he has over top of Eric Johnson, who's currently sitting third. So right now I'm sure the Locker Rooms Motorsports guys have their eyeball on Jared Magoon, making sure he's hitting his marks out there and hasn't burned up his tires too soon. You don't want to fall one position. Obviously, every position out there is a little more from the sponsors out there and from the fans seeing you get up there. Right now, whoop, here's Sikosi underneath. I think right now that should be Justin Cope he's putting there on the outside. Cope, whoa! Well, it looked like Cope may have been trying to bang him around there a little bit. Yeah, Lockridge saying out there, he kind of takes a bow out there to Mark Sikosi. But we have seen Mark Sikosi go out there. This guy qualifying fourth and is taken out in the first 15 laps. I mean, this guy's had nothing but bad luck for a long time. And I think it's finally, this is his stroke. He's finally able to get a little bit going. But can he keep this running? I mean, yes, he won the second race of the season. He's 4 laps away from winning the third race of the season. His second. But is he going to go cold when we enter the chase? I mean, we're looking at Auto Club 5 flags, and I believe we finished off at Kansas. That, to me, I would not wish that on anybody trying to race out a championship at Kansas. Ugh. That's a love-hate relationship track there. Right now, we'll see how he hangs in there. He did well at Southern National. We'll see how he does at Kern Raceway next week. And if he wins at Kern Raceway, he's set himself up for the playoffs. Almost as a chip shot, so I can almost say if he's a short track guy, which will line us up for 5 Flag Speedway, which is the second race for the chase, so that may be his only in to go ahead and keep rolling. 3 laps left to go here. Sikosi waving by pit road as he passes it yet again. Last time he pit was on lap 135, and that was his 3rd time. And right now he is continuing the roll here. Nothing gonna stop him, as he has nobody out there in front of him. 8.5 seconds over top of Jared Magoon. Magoon starting to hold on a little bit better. Only 2 3/4 of a second over top of Eric Johnson. Johnson wants to come up a little more, and I don't think they're going to have it. White flag is out this time by. This race, all Mark Sikosi here. Do appreciate you guys tuning in here to SimTraX Broadcasting. Unfortunately, the only lonely voice up here in the booth that you guys have been listening to for over an hour and 45 minutes here as these guys continue the roll. Sikosi, what a race here as he looks to bring home the checkered flag here of the Federated Autoports 400. Only one more turn left to go. Here he comes across the front stretch. Awesome job here. Mark Sikosi taking away the win. 0X Media and Design, yes. Thank you for the broadcast. You'll be back next week. Excellent. Excellent. And don't forget, bring more friends. Bring more friends, I assure you. The broadcast gets 30 times better when I got more guys out here. 4 drivers finish on the lead lap, though. Adam Glatfelter sitting in 4th. And he is going. I see Stella out there. Looks like you're blowing smoke now. You'll be able to hear a little bit of Stella out there on Mondays, as I believe we head to a dirt track with the National Oval Racing Association. So Mark Sikosi, well-deserved win here. Brett Bullard out there in 0X. Yeah, not a problem, guys. Definitely love it when you guys are out here chatting it up. Letting me know what you think and how the race went. Yeah, great job. Great job. These guys definitely did a heck of a run here. And Mark Sikosi going ahead and doing his Polish lap out there. I wonder if that's PC anymore. Ah, well. All right, we are looking for Eric Johnson out there. We are currently in the hunt. Let's see what we got going on. Fantastic job here. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our full-on, what we've got here tonight. Would like to thank Fubar Studios once again for going ahead and sponsoring this league. These guys do an awesome job out here. As you can see, only a couple of cautions right there at the beginning. After that, piece of cake all the way to the end. Hey, there we go, Adam Glatfelter. Not bad. There you go. You know how to do it. Thanks for the subscriptions out there. Guys, let's go ahead. We're going to cut away here for just a moment. See if we can find our guys and ask a few questions here. Appreciate it. All right, finally catching up to him. Third place finisher, Eric Johnson. Man, what a run out here. It doesn't, I don't know, man. Any kind of pit stop strategies or anything else, definitely we're switching it up. Talk to me about you, this race, what it was like here at the NSR League, and what this Outcast team is looking to bring to the table.
Well, this is our first week out here in the NSR, and we're just kind of trying to get a feel, get a feel for the guys, how everybody likes to race and stuff, and just kind of take our time in the race there. And we noticed Mark had pretty good long-term pace, and we just didn't quite have that pace with our set. So we tried a little bit of different tire strat. And it was starting to work a little bit, but Mark was on a different level there.
Well, his setup was something crazy, man. I don't know. He was losing positions at the beginning, and I said, no, give Mark Sikosi a second. We'll see if he looks to kick it back. Sometimes we see him march back, and he never comes back, but this time something felt a little bit different. So the racing here, pretty tough out there. You guys did a heck of a job, though. 3, 4, 5, I believe, is 3, 4, 5, and 6, I think, is where all you guys placed.
Wow, can't shake a stick at that. Yeah, I got to thank my Glat Daddy, Adam Glatfelter. He was primary putting this set together. Like, all in all, it was a good set. Felt good. And, the Outcast boys, we had a good showing out there for our first run. Keep it clean, bring it home, and that's what we did.
All right. Excellent job, man. Well, hopefully we'll see you next week. I believe we head to Kern Raceway. You ever been there?
No.
Awesome. Neither have I.
I'm a short track fan, so, we'll get in there, get some practice laps, see what we got. That should be a whole different race than what we've seen tonight.
Yep. Yeah, I'm more of a Martinsville, Bristol, short track. So, Kern, I'm a little confused and a little nervous. We'll see how it goes. All right, Eric, floor is yours, buddy. Go ahead and give me shout-outs out there.
Hey, first, I want to thank NSR for bringing us on board here. They don't know who we are, but hopefully, we'll show them some respect and we'll get some back. And thank you for letting us in here. And you in the booth there at SimTraX, making the broadcast look good. I had it up on my other monitor while I was racing, just kind of watching it, not really listening too much, but looked good, looked sharp. Appreciate you up there. And of course, all the Outcast guys. Thank you guys. Anybody tuning in, giving us all the support out here, and we'll bring it home third place.
Awesome job, buddy. The 18 machine coming in third. Not bad, buddy. Not bad. We'll see you next week, brother.
Appreciate you. Have a good night.
You too. All right. Finally, we come up with Eric Johnson finishing third. We finally get a hold of the Lockridge Motorsports driver of Jared Magoon. And Jared, I think it's been a while, buddy. We haven't talked to you in quite some time.
Hello, good sir. How are you?
Doing all right, man. Yeah, I heard they're having to teach you how to drive this thing. They said the best thing you could drive out there was one of those little Tykes red and yellow cars, man. How's it feel being behind a Gen 4?
It's nice to be in a Gen 4. The ARCA cars are very difficult to handle. This, for some reason, the looser the better. ARCA cars are super tight.
Yeah. You did an awesome job here tonight. It almost looked like you and the Lockridge Motorsports gang, you guys were trying to come up with something with Sikosi. He came down a lot later than everybody else, almost 16 laps later, and then you guys seem to be fighting back. Is there anything you guys might have changed to maybe, put this thing one more spot up?
I think I would have changed. The last adjustment, I think we were a little bit too far. I was loose throughout the center of the corner and exit on both sides of the track. That kind of slowed me down a little bit, but Mark was at a different level. It was wild.
All right. I can't remember. You were sitting behind the driver playing peekaboo there for a while. If I'm not mistaken,
Yeah, right at the beginning.
Think it was Justin Cope. I think you were messing around with him for a little bit later on, and I mentioned something, and Mr. Lockridge said, y'all are still working on that. I would say, were you trying to loosen him up a little bit out there?
I wasn't trying to. I just was trying to figure out how to get around him. I try to not. I try to be as clean as I can be. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I would say there's some people, they don't take the low line, they don't take the middle lane. They like riding right in the middle of both of them. And sometimes a little, what they say, call it the chrome horn, a little bump here and there to let them know you're not real happy with them kind of picking out that lane. Kern Raceway. All right, that's where we're heading next year, buddy. You come in second here at the Federated Auto Parts 400. How do you feel moving into the short track?
I'm excited. I do enjoy me a short track, and I know the group at Devon Lockridge Motorsports and the Tier 1 setup shop are gonna give me a hot rod.
Awesome. Yeah, I would say I'm a big fan of short tracks. If there's a mistake made, you can make it up in about 3 or 4 seconds when you're into the next turn. It's not, super speedway. I made a slight mistake, and now I'm having to wait so much longer before it finally, before I can start making that up, or I'm depending on the draft. This is all going to be based on skill and the setup of the car. Jared Magoon, congratulations on your second place finish. I'll give it to you. Go ahead and give me your shout out. So you better say something about Devin.
Yeah, of course, first off, the best team owner in motorsports, Devon Lockridge. He's really brought me from the ground up and helped me out. My sponsors I have on the car tonight, Tier 1 Setup Shop and Wrap Surgeon. Yeah, thank you for everything.
Cool.
And you're a cool guy. You're a great announcer. I appreciate what you do.
He's like, you're a cool guy. Awesome, man. I'm sorry.
Storylines. We love storylines.
Yeah, man. Well, we try. We definitely try up here. All right, man. See if you can wrangle up some more drivers, man. Let's get like 25, 30 guys in here. All right.
I know this field was very nice compared to the end of last season. So any boost is welcome.
Oh yeah. All right, Jared. Good luck to you, buddy.
See you, brother.
All right, Jared Magoon. What a run. That dude definitely did some work out there, but we finally come to our race winner. No one could hold a candle to him out there. Mark Sikosi, I was a little nervous at the beginning of your run out there, buddy. I thought you were going to be fading back, rolling back out there, and then, bam, here you are. You end up coming away with the win here tonight. What was the key component to being so fast?
I don't know if I want to give it away, but I think we had a little more rear grip than the rest of the guys. The teammates didn't have a chance to get to show it the speed tonight. I'm not sure what kind of issues they ran into. I know a couple of them got the wall or were involved in a wreck, but rear grip I think was the main thing. And I think we were rotating a little bit better too. But I think those components right there, I think that's what put us in victory lane.
Your speed was almost unmatched out there, and I was looking at your fall off of only about 1.2 seconds was the worst between fresh tires and you coming down in the pit while everybody else has fall off was somewhere around 2.5 seconds. What's kind of the key here?
That's very surprising for a track like this. There's not a whole lot of banking, it's concrete, not a whole lot of grip. Pretty tight turns for this size track. I think a lot of it was in the setup. I'm not driving any different than I normally do. These last couple weeks, I haven't gone back-to-back wins in this league in about 5 years. So to do that, it feels pretty good, I can tell you that.
Yeah, well, I was just getting ready to bring up the back-to-back. Can you make it the trifecta? Next week is end up being Kern Raceway. There's still a possibility we head back to short track, and obviously I heard you did quite well over there at the last one.
Yeah, we usually run really good on short tracks. If we got a good setup under us, it's very possible. I like Kern, really cool track. We haven't been there with this car yet, but I think so. I think we'll be in contention.
All right, Mark Sikosi, what a win here, buddy. You definitely had something up your sleeve, and we were all gambling whether you were going to be pitting one more time at the end or not. 56 is as far as you can go. 61 is what you needed.
Yeah, we could have tried to stretch it that last run. It might have been possible. It wasn't worth the risk. We just brought it down, just split that last run, and worked out really well. We come out and Magoon was just going past us into 3, so I knew we were in really good shape at that point. So no point in throwing away a win like that for something silly like that. So we played it safe and it worked out.
All right, I'm gonna throw one last thing out there before I get shout-outs here, Mark. If a caution had come, let's say with 25 to go, would this have changed the race at all?
The only way I think it would have is if there had to have been some kind of catalyst for triggering, me getting involved in a situation, in a wreck or in a wall, or there would have been something like that. Even on a short run, I don't think anybody had anything for us. I think we would have been fine as long as we could have got out in front of the chaos and checked out. But you never know, and we didn't want to see it because you just never know in them situations.
Yeah, 100%. All right, buddy, your turn.
Yeah, got to thank everybody for showing up. We had a handful of new guys join this week. I know we have a handful more that should be joining here either next week or week after. We're growing. The word's getting out there. Everybody's enjoying what we're doing. We're going to keep doing it. We got to thank Track Day for Veterans for funding this series. We're going to thank you guys for putting on great broadcasts. You guys are definitely one of the best. Definitely one of the best out there. I'm surprised you're not more well known for the job that you guys are doing.
Oh wow, awesome! Thanks, buddy. Yeah, we definitely try up here. I know. I think it's easier for you to find drivers than it is for me to find somebody to sit in the booth with me sometimes. But we'll definitely see if we can get another voice in here, buddy. And you work on the drivers. Congratulations, Mark, on the drive here tonight, man. You definitely own this field and taught us a few things here and there for Nashville. We'll see you at Kern Raceway, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Doug Macedo down there waiting for him out there, and he's going to be getting ready to go here in just a moment. All right, what a race here. Definitely is these guys, like Mark was saying, so little banking out there, yet he was so fast. I was actually wondering just a little bit if he had just a little bit different scheme out there with his setup, some sort of gearing change, but he definitely had that thing on a rail, and it did not look like he was going to disappoint. I've got to get some more streams up for you guys. That way you guys know to lock in for next week. I think we were a little late on the getting the stream posted up there for this upcoming week, what these guys have going on out there. But that should do it for us here at SimTraX Broadcasting, bringing you the NSR series here on Saturday night. But we will see you at Kern Raceway next week. Until then, be well, be safe, be kind, and we'll see you there.